Welcome to Linking into Sales. This is Martin Brossman,
Greg Hyer,
and Elyse Archer.
We've got an exciting show where we're going to set the record straight on the word social selling.
Yes, we have. We were kind of talking about this offline, and we noticed that a lot of folks are coming out and starting to use the term social selling that probably shouldn't be using the term social selling, but in order to make themselves appear new, fancy, and bright and shiny, that's what they're doing. But anyways, before we get into that, because we have a lot of stuff we need to catch up on. We actually don't have a guest on today, so you're just enjoying the three of us.
We're the guest.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Gary.
Well, at least was that? Or at least Elyse is awesome.
Yeah.
Duh. Sorry, guys. We do these shows before coffee. It's dangerous what comes out.
That's all right, Elyse. Let it rip.
All right. So first, let's get back to normal stuff and talk a little bit for a second just about our sponsor.
Yes.
NC State Technology Training Solutions. If you are interested, or if you're in the Raleigh area, in the Triangle area, and need to enhance your professional education with some technology training courses, anything from if you wanted to earn your A+ certification to taking and getting your social media management certificate with Martin.
Or social selling training.
And if you want to come down and take our social selling training course with using LinkedIn, maybe you want to learn about B2B email marketing or advertising on AdWords. Any of those courses.
Podcasting.
And if you want to get into podcasting too. Any of those courses and a lot more are actually available at NC State Technology Training Solutions. Very affordable. NC State Technology Training Solutions is a nonprofit arm of the McKimmon Center, which is the center for basically continuing education for adults. If you want to learn more about them, please do. A lot of you have. Head out to linkingintosales.com/NCSUTTS to learn more about their courses. Everything you take there, pretty much you get continuing education credits too, which is very helpful if that's a requirement. So, and
mention that you learned about it from us, and they'll smile an extra time.
Yeah, they like to smile. Anyways, and make sure you say hi to Holly, which we've had on the show before. So go back and check out that episode. So let's get into the first part. We're going to break the show into kind of two different segments. We have some news we want to catch up on, because we think that some of these things are actually pretty relevant and could be potential opportunities for you with social selling. And then in the second part, we're actually going to talk about the term social selling and some of the rants that I have about it. Elyse is going to come from a different angle on it, and then Martin over here, he's going to try and prevent Elyse and I from fighting about it.
Poke and prod at you, Greg. This is going to be fun.
I'm ready.
And if you don't know why, you'll understand it a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's get started. First thing, I just want to mention real quick, all of the links to the articles and the news that we're talking about are going to be available in the show notes. Go look for episode 99. This is episode 99. We got one more before we hit 100, which will be a pretty fun episode. We're actually planning that out and looking for some contributors there.
And that will be on Linking into Sales. So if you're listening on one of our affiliate or contacts, you'll need to come back to Linking into Sales to find the show notes.
Yep. You come out to linkingintosales.com, do a search for episode 99, or just type in 99, and you will find the show notes there. All right. So first thing, LinkedIn adds Gmail and CRM integration to Sales Navigator. This is, if you're a Sales Navigator user, which is chances are your company may be managing your license or paying for your LinkedIn account using the Sales Navigator product, which is a much higher end solution that B2B sales teams use. Now they've made it a little bit easier to take and get some of that information out of Sales Navigator and into your Gmail and CRM through Chrome plugins, basically, right? So if you've been using this, we definitely would love to hear.
Yeah,
you drop us a note. Anything if you started to use it, we want to hear a little bit more about that.
Greg, can I add? Is it just Salesforce that it integrates with? Do we know, or is it other CRMs?
So I'm checking the article right now, and it looks like that it was, I believe, Microsoft Dynamic as well was going to be included in that update, and that would make sense because.
Those are the only two they play well with.
Well, and Microsoft bought LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So hopefully
it's going to be easy. Good point.
Hopefully they will be rolling it out there. So the article actually does not mention whether or not it was Salesforce or if it was Dynamics, but I'm very sure that it was at least Salesforce. But we'll let me dig in just a little bit there and see what happens. But anyways,
look for the show notes. He'll write some other stuff up on it. Right.
Yep. So
Greg, what's our next big thing?
Yeah. So it is Salesforce. Actually, looking at the update, I'll include a link to the to LinkedIn's business page as well. It looks like there's a number of features that they're going to be rolling into it as well, which is easily import your Salesforce data with a single click, so you can pull. That makes sense. So pulling your data out of Salesforce, bring it into Sales Navigator, makes it much easier to transfer that data back and forth. And then with Gmail, being able to take and access that information, import back and forth too. We're seeing a lot more of that with some of the sales tools. Between just taking this method of adding a Chrome extension to Google Chrome, your browser, and enhancing the usage of LinkedIn or other things like we'll have another story here talking about Conspire, or when we talked about Crystal Knows, crystalknows.com, and how they have that Chrome plugin, right?
Which is not a drug.
No. No. All right. So we'll include a link to the show notes for that one, not to where you can find the drugs.
Next topic. Quora. No, Quora style.
So in case you're all listening, we normally record these at 12 on Fridays, and it's
early.
It's before 9 o'clock on Thursday, so
right.
We haven't gotten ready for
this
this
one.
one.
Sponsor cup in there, right?
So we don't need YouTube to see.
Yeah. Here's the big thing to understand is we've got Quora's doing something with Q&A, and I'm still go ahead.
No,
sorry. Quora style. Excuse me.
LinkedIn.
Quora style Q&A on LinkedIn. Correction. I'm still upset about them taking away answers on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's ever listening, just want you to remember it was the stupidest thing you ever did. It built more connections than anything I ever had. So I promised I'd rant. That's it. LinkedIn. That was where they clearly shot themselves in both feet to prove the first one an accident.
That's right. So this next article is next bit of news is that LinkedIn is starting to include more video and basically doing these Quora style Q&A type videos for influencers. Now, if you aren't familiar with what influencers are, is this special group of elite influencers. There's about 500 of them on LinkedIn. Yes, I said elite. They're basically able to reply with 30-second videos to questions that they may be asked, or they can actually post up to 30 seconds worth of video based on a question that is coming in. So some of the feedback that I've been hearing is that it's not special. That's that's the basic thing. So getting all excited about being able to take and post video, guys, you can do this right now with YouTube. I'm not sure what the benefit is of having something that's native to LinkedIn, but then again, I haven't seen any of these videos come up in my activity feed, and I follow a number of influencers. Maybe they're just not adopting it. I'm not sure.
I have an idea. Bring back answers.
Yeah,
that's my idea. LinkedIn. That was stupid. Learn from your mistakes. Admit them. Yeah. Bring back answers.
I want to hear.
It was fantastic. It was the best feature they ever had that built more people coming back to LinkedIn than anything else.
Influencers are. I think the concept is.
Did I make myself clear?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also getting influence or getting questions answered by people who regularly practice, these things or have unique experiences that they can provide a perspective answer to a question makes more sense, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think, Elyse?
Well, I think it's interesting if you look at every other social platform, every other platform has pretty much incorporated video. LinkedIn is probably the last one to not have some sort of native video, right? Am I right there? Am I?
Yep. Yeah, you're definitely for the native video. Yeah, this is their first foray into it, but there's a couple. There might be a couple others that just aren't significant enough yet. Maybe. Well, Quora is pretty significant, but you can't reply with video on that one.
Yes,
you can. No,
no, you can't.
You can. Okay, I was making sure. So, Twitter you can reply with video. Facebook you can reply with video.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you can't reply video.
Right.
And
Pinterest, you really can't reply with video.
No.
I guess you could, but it's kind of silly.
Yeah, but I don't think you would want
Snapchat, of course, is.
to. Oh, yeah. And then
Instagram is.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Elise, everybody's on the ball game except the guys on the shorter bus from LinkedIn.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Short bus. You put them on the short bus. That's not.
Look, I was on one, so I have the right to say it.
All right, you're right. Okay, I don't.
It just seems like a play to capitalize on that space. I mean,
How about we just put them on the school bus and not the charter bus?
Yeah, right,
okay?
right. That's it. The charter bus. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, let's see what it looks like. We'll come back after it's rolled out and give a commentary
If
on
they
it.
roll it out.
Yep. Twitter's got some stuff going on.
All right, so this is a little bit off topic, but Twitter, you can now post stickers to your photos. I know it's not like a huge deal, but you know what? I've actually been on a few sales trips where I've seen salespeople will do Snapchat with clients. They'll do face swap with them. If you haven't tried that out, do it with your dog. It's pretty fun. Or do it with your kids. That's creepy.
I didn't know I had any. Sorry. They're not mine.
No.
Can't prove it.
Anyways,
I've got a great stepson.
I did this face swap with my daughter using that. Oh man, she looked weird with a beard.
Okay.
All right.
So Twitter stickers you can put on.
Yeah,
so
so
hopefully Twitter won't have rainbow. What was it?
Oh no, they do.
Chiclets pouring out of your mouth.
Oh no,
or
they don't have
something.
that. Those are lenses. That's a lens on.
Yeah, I know. That was really weird, Greg.
But because I sent it to you.
Yeah, you did.
So
why didn't you send me that stuff, Greg?
Yeah, that's right. You gotta include her in it. She's family now. I already told her an off-color joke at the last meeting, and she laughed.
Oh, good. Yes, that's true.
Full contact. So we got something that to me is.
Before we go to that one, hang on a second. Hey, real quick, just want to make a quick point about using stickers with photos on Twitter. Is that you can actually have some pretty fun engagement. So if you're on customer site, if you're at a visit or something like that, and just want to make it a little bit more fun, tag them in the photo that you just took and put a sticker on it. It can make it a little bit more engaging. I think that's what Twitter's trying to go for.
Quickly explain, if they don't know what stickers are, what it looks like to them. Just say that.
Yeah, sure. So when you go to say you're using Twitter, and hopefully I bet you probably about 20% of you probably raising your hand saying I use Twitter. But you can go out to Twitter on your phone, on your mobile phone, and take a picture. And you have an option, along with all the filters and way that you can kind of edit the photo before you post it. You can also add a sticker, which is going to be like a little graphic you can take and put on top of the picture. And they have a whole bunch of different options that you could use.
Emojis?
You could do emojis, like the poo-poo emoji. It's very similar to like in when
I thought that was yogurt.
Don't do that when you take the picture with your client. I would use a different emoji.
Be careful with that.
Not unless you're trying to be self-deprecating. But but it's very similar to how you can take and add photos to your pictures on Facebook. So if you've ever done that, which actually I was doing this past weekend, I was at a baseball tournament, and I took a picture of my son and his team playing baseball, and I went in and actually Facebook loaded up baseball stickers, which that was pretty kind of cool. So they must be doing some recognition on the back end for that. But I was able to add a nice little picture to it and post it out, or a nice little sticker to it and post it out there, and folks liked it. But now that feature is available on Twitter too, so you can have some fun with it, and we think you should. So it definitely helps kind of
a little
lighten
nice
the mood, a little
happy
bit.
face or something like that, or thumbs up.
Yeah.
Can we? I want to go to the next one. I'm of course a big user of Nimble, and FullContact allows me to scan in business cards to Nimble using
Zapier.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I'd love for them to connect directly. That's a shout out to both. But something happened where we noticed a drop off in activity in Conspire, which we like, which really shows you connections through email. And we were worried they were going under or something was happening because the blog post stopped. I even tweeted, if you guys gone out of business or something, let us know because we're talking about it in class. Well, we now know why the silence was occurring, don't we?
Yes, the silence was occurring. And we were very, very concerned because the founder was no longer associated with the company. There was one engineer left, and it is like, should we continue?
And we like the product.
Yeah.
In fact, we wanted to have them on the show.
Should we continue to recommend their product and things like that? So we just silently, one-on-one would say, check out Conspire.
Yeah.
If you haven't, first, let's kind of give them a quick background of what Conspire is. Conspire is a tool that helped show the relationships that or first and second degree relationships that you would have with somebody based on email addresses. Now, LinkedIn does this by using their own platform, but see, email is a protocol, and email is not going anywhere, no matter what you say or anything. That protocol, no one is shutting down all the email servers in the world, but anybody could shake and shut off LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other social platform out there. I don't know why MySpace is still around, but anyways, the benefit of this was what Conspire was trying to do is get a bunch of people, several million people. I think they had about a little shy of 20 million users, but they would take and import all the contacts in there, and then they would show you the relationships based on those email addresses. So who could you go to get the best? Who's the best person to go to get that introduction to that second or third degree connection? So it was a great tool for that. It looks like FullContact, FullContact.com, which is a contact management platform. Not a CRM, but just more like a really nice contact manager. Yeah, it sounds like they acquired them actually.
It's really a bit to me. It's a business card app with much more. Yeah, so and they acquired it. They bought them.
So Martin uses it primarily to do OCR with his business cards. But what it does also is that it has a contact manager aspect to it. So if you don't need the full-blown features of a CRM, it does have a way for you to take and manage all of your contacts, associate social profiles, and a few other things too, which makes sense for FullContact to acquire Conspire, because FullContact has this giant database of email addresses and contacts that, while they do belong to you, they want to actually help show you who your best relationships are, or who the best opportunities to connect with other folks. Does this sound like a competitor of LinkedIn?
I don't know. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that our buddies, we really are voting that LinkedIn needs real serious competition, folks. So we're cheering you on. It'll get LinkedIn to spend a little more energy in improving things.
Elyse, have you checked out FullContact yet?
I have not. This is actually the first time I'm learning, like everybody else. So
cool. So what do you think about email addresses though? Do you think those are super important?
Just a little bit, if you want to stalk effectively in sales. No, I'm excited about it because I'm always looking for an angle and an edge. What was that?
No, I didn't. Elyse, it's really cool because now you're seeing connections that might exist you didn't realize through the email as well. So now we have another way to go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that Greg knows that person as well.
Right.
So it opens up more pathways that traditionally we really had primarily through LinkedIn.
Yeah, pretty nifty.
Yeah.
So just a real quick note for everyone who's listening, if you haven't checked out FullContact yet, they have a free account level which you can connect in one of your email accounts to. And then they also have a paid level which runs about $100 a year, and I think you can connect in 5 different sources. So if you have multiple email accounts, you can definitely check that out. So I would we'll put a link to the story on Yahoo.
Which and also right now FullContact has it on their blog too, so we want to add that as well. They just posted it yesterday.
Yep. So
they must have heard us.
We'll put a link out to everything out into the show notes so you can read more about it and definitely learn more about them.
Greg, there was an article on HubSpot that you just love because it goes into strategy and tactics, and I asked you, let's talk about it on the show because there's so many of these, I almost call them link bait articles to get people to at least come to something. And this one kind of got you enough that I said, we need to let a rant out on this one. So,
So first of all, I want to point out real quick that I have been a contributor in the past to the HubSpot inbound sales blog, and I wrote a couple articles out there about using content during the sales process. You can actually go out there, just do a search, Greg Hyer HubSpot, and you'll get linked to my author page there. But this particular article someone shared yesterday on LinkedIn, and the title of it is what sales reps should be doing on LinkedIn every day, week, month, and quarter. And I thought, well, this is great. Maybe there's some inspiring things inside of here, and
maybe a social selling routine,
maybe something like
tactics, strategies.
Yeah, well, because we've just recently published the course on establishing the fundamentals of establishing a social selling routine, which we hope that you can check out.
Socialselling.training.
Go to socialselling.training to learn a little bit more about that.
Yep.
And if you haven't taken our LinkedIn or Twitter training, it's out there as well.
Yep.
If you want to look at beefing up your profile. Those are free. This course kind of costs a little bit, but I started to read through the article and I wanted to honestly rip my eyes out of my head.
Don't do that.
I mean, it was, sorry, HubSpot, but, and the author of this post, I'm not trying to be overly critical, but HubSpot happens to have a tendency of writing posts that are just basically candy. They're eye candy, or they might be SEO candy. They like to limit a lot of their blog posts to about 600 words. They may have changed their policies around a little bit just to give it a little bit more oomph, but they do link a lot with internally and all this other stuff. Highly SEO optimized. If you don't want to know what that is, don't worry about it yet. But
this is representative of a lot of these articles out here of how to crush it on LinkedIn that just list 5 steps of the obvious. So
let me just, I'll run through this real quick and I'll show you a couple of things. So for example, there's a few suggestions for doing what you need to do once a day. First is every day you should be looking at your network's announcements. You should be browsing through your news feed. You should see who has viewed your profile, and you should send connection requests every day. This is what you should be doing. Now, I agree. You should be looking at your network announcements every day. You don't want to be missing that. Actually, first thing in the morning, you should whether it's rolling out of bed and you're looking on your LinkedIn on your phone, or if it's you just rolled into the office and you want to see what's going on, you're checking it out. You need to find out what's going on with the announcements, right?
But you also need to select and see the most current, not just what it's auto feeding you too.
Right. So So checking. So that goes into the browsing through your news feed. Their news feed is algorithm driven. All right. So by default, you get to see what is quote unquote most relevant.
Which could just be stupid, comedy,
it could be video, or 16,000 people like the thing about the girl in the bikini because they have a new product coming out. Good excuse for putting a bikini picture up there, right?
I've been getting a lot of bikini girls lately.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I was worried.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have shared that, but continue.
No. Actually, it's relevant because LinkedIn needs to work on that algorithm. It's getting to look more like Facebook with their algorithm tweak, but you need to go to the area in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, so right up above your news feed on the right side, there's a little arrow. It's in light gray, because you can barely see it, but if you click on it and drop down to recent, you can actually see a whole lot more of what's going on, such as who just connected with who.
Now, that would have been good to put in here.
Correct, and they did not do that. All right, so
and I'm going to add one thing. That's important, Elyse, because that might be a customer that doesn't have as many followers, where your comment could really make a difference, and you won't see it because the swimsuit model or something, or some worthless quote that's trite will be top of the list, or touching veteran things, wonderful, but I want to see that on Facebook, not LinkedIn.
Yeah. So another thing too, sending connection requests every day. I think this is where I stopped, and I'm like, oh, this is just bad advice.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, this is not a social selling approach, guys. Some of these things are I mean,
this is a social spamming. That's a different course.
This is actually a traditional sales approach.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going out there, handing out your business card to every single person you can, without just, or actually even worse, you're inviting somebody into your network that may not want you into your network because you haven't established any value to that particular person, but because you haven't built a relationship with them, you haven't engaged with that person or anything like that. So I can't recommend that. And you'll understand why when you take our course. Every week you should be commenting on content, posting in a couple groups, and then so again, bad advice. You have to be strategic on where you're going to take and post in groups. What groups should you be part of? right? And then what discussions are worth your time to be part of, not only your time, but also the people are kind of reading the discussion too. Can you provide value into that? And that's not what this is talking about. Every month you should be auditing your groups. So LinkedIn suggests that, or I'm sorry, HubSpot is suggesting here that you need to go back and check to see what groups that you're a part of and leave groups that you're not participating in anymore, or you're not getting any leads out of. And then follow new influencers.
We just start getting echo. Is that? Shoot. Go ahead.
Okay. And then every month, check your social selling score. I think you should check that every week because the algorithm changes all the time. So, and then update. Actually, I'm sorry. Every quarter, you need to request a recommendation. Every quarter.
I'm sorry.
Elyse, when was the last time you requested a recommendation?
Yeah.
I'm a believer, and I try to give recommendations every time.
Bingo.
I connect.
Yeah.
I think is worthy of one.
So not. I wouldn't request a recommendation. I'd give recommendations, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I will say I have asked for them, like after speaking events. I think it's a fine balance.
Okay.
You know, I think it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't ask them to see, but I do think you should lead with giving them. That's just my personal.
So who are you requesting the recommendations from when you do speaking events, though?
So usually it'll be like a manager or a leader who invites me in, and I'll say, hey, if you found value in this, would you mind just sharing how I helped your team or how I helped the audience? Right.
So you're not getting everyone's email address for attended it and asking for a recommendation on how well you spoke there, are you?
No.
One.
Okay.
Just one.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But that's a good idea. I'm doing that.
No. Don't
do that.
That's every quarter you also need to update your job description. Yeah. So if you go back and take our LinkedIn training,
yes,
and you will
understand. Free one.
Yes, you can optimize your profile, but I mean, coming in here and saying, "Oh, you have impressive achievements, great, lovely. I don't want to do business with you."
Yeah.
I don't. I want to know how you're going to bring me success and how you're going to make me achieve my goals. Don't talk about your crap. I don't want to hear about that.
We need to thank him for the bad advice.
Thank you. Lovely stuff. Anyways, we'll post a link to the show notes. Leave your comments. 500 other people saw it on LinkedIn. Hopefully you can, you tell them basically linking to sales can't stand that post. Anyways, so let's switch over to the second segment. That's the end of my rant and news for this, but we're going to get into another rant. I'm going to rant again.
Okay, good.
This is a good one, guys.
Well, as an interjection, I just want to tell a story. We have a contest, and we want your help on doubling the number of listeners on the show. So we want everyone out there, share our show with someone. Our goal is to double by the end of the year, and really like your help. And I just like to share, Elyse, I was at a coffee shop the other day. Actually, it was breakfast place, and overheard two guys talking in the background about trying to get into customers at a company and the struggle of it. Now, I don't know if it was sales or they were support, but I just walked over and said, hey, don't mean to interrupt, but I'd like to tell you we have a leading podcast show, and here's our card on it. And he looked at the card and he says, oh, I'm on LinkedIn. I've got thousands and thousands of connections, but my LinkedIn profile stinks. And that unfortunately makes Martin see red at that point. So I looked at him and I said, I have to ask you one question. When you go to your customers, are you in your underwear when you go? Or you just go there in your underwear because you don't care how you look at all? And he kind of, had to look like, who the heck are you? And then I said, because that's what you're doing digitally when you're connecting to all these people and haven't made any effort of what your customer-facing profile on LinkedIn looks like. And I said, here's a free class on this card. Take a few hours and do it, or keep looking to the world digitally like you're out there in your underwear. So that was my rant. So,
nice.
So which leads to also the importance of addressing this. Everybody is brother now is social selling. In fact, apparently the trash collection now says now offering social selling. No, it doesn't on the side, but it's looking like that. And Greg, I think we need to set the record straight.
Yes.
And we have about 7 minutes to do it.
Yeah. So
no pressure.
No pressure. So first of all, when you go to our website at linkinginto sales.com, the question there, right there at the top, what is social selling? We define social selling as a strategy sales professionals use to discover prospects, engage buyers, and develop business relationships using social media. Okay, so in B2B, this is where social selling is highly relevant in B2B. It is not about sending blanket emails or sending blind invites or canned invites. It is not about that. It is about discovering, engaging, and developing. Okay, and all of this using social media. Social media is the catalyst for what makes social selling possible. Okay, what we're noticing today is that there's a lot of consumer type companies, business to consumer type companies or retail companies that are claiming that they do social selling. Okay, so the type of social selling that they're talking about is the same social selling that they've been doing for the last 50 years, which is we're going to come into your house, we're going to have a party, invite all your friends, we're going to sell each other gold and all this other stuff. And it's social and we're selling, and they're taking and melding the two words together. So that's not social selling. Guys,
What is that?
That's sales.
Right.
And that's actually a type of sales that I am not a fan of. And I'll tell you straight up, I'm not a fan of it. And if you meet me in person, I'm going to tell you I'm not a fan of it. Because it's not consistent. It's not sustainable.
But
it's not
social
scalable.
commerce.
But and there's also the side of another part of business, which I think where I kind of lost it is when Mary Kay started to say that they are in the social selling business. And actually what they are is social commerce, because they have a very simple transaction. It's here, try it on.
You like it.
You like it, you buy it.
Right.
That's it. It's a simple sale. In today's sales, in the sales environment, there are two types of businesses. There are two types of sales. There's complex sales and there's simple sales. Social selling works very, very well with complex sales. Where people get confused is when if I sell something on Facebook, all of a sudden that's social selling. Incorrect.
Yep.
That's social commerce. That's doing social e-commerce in particular. All right. So Elyse, I'm going to let you have the floor for a second. What do you think?
Well, I was excited for this show just because I know your feelings about certain types of sales, and it just cracks me up a little bit. But, you know, it's interesting because, so I do this every day, right? Because I sell sales coaching. And so, and I'm also training salespeople on how to do this themselves. And some of them are B2B and some are B2C. And I think I probably fall somewhere in the middle. And I'm actually wondering if some of what I do might infuriate you. I'm not sure. I think it would be interesting to see.
That's why we don't talk about it.
No, she's talking about the sales processes she's using.
Sure.
So I'll acknowledge that. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Elyse.
Well, I guess just from a standpoint of someone who's out there selling every day, like I do use LinkedIn for a great lead generator. And part of my sales process is somewhat templated with like inbound connection requests. I have a pretty standard follow-up reply I'll send to them. And depending on where that goes, I have another templated reply. And I'm always customizing it, but it's, you know, but when you have a certain volume, I think some things do have to be templated. So I'm curious, I mean, is that something that, am I defying the rules of proper social selling?
I want to add one thing. One, it's not that one is right or wrong, Greg, and I want to defend that.
Yep.
It's calling it social selling when it's really social commerce or just good old sales, traditional sales. Neither of us are against. If it works, do it. And I'm of course he obviously was mentioning residual income, implying there. I'm for anything that works. I just met a wonderful woman who sells Mary Kay in my class, and she loves it. She's made good money. It helps pay their rent. But the thing is putting the label social selling on everything. We thought we need to set the record straight. You know, go ahead.
Yeah. So your boyfriend, soon to be fiance, I don't know, whatever relationship status is there. Facebook won't tell me, but the
great guy though,
nice guy. Yeah. So I remember Jason had sent me an invite. I know it was by accident after we had followed up about that, but he had actually, the way that he had constructed the message, which I don't know if he got coaching from you or not, but it was a very traditional way of approaching. It was, hi, I have an opportunity, love to talk to you on the phone about it, and hit message, hit the send the message
as sort of an early introduction. And we want to acknowledge this was actually a mistake he knew about. So he's a great guy and working hard.
And we talked about giving just a little bit of advice.
Or it was set up by Elyse just to provoke you, and that would have been funny as hell as far as I'm concerned.
It may be, and they're just not admitting it. Yeah.
I'm pleading the fifth. No, that one was hilarious because he had hired someone to help him with this, and she sent a prospecting message to you, Greg, which is even more hilarious to me because I just know how you feel about network marketing in general, and the whole thing was kind of a big snafu and funny. But so it's, I guess an interesting question would be, how do you see people who are engaged in like social commerce or network marketing, can they do social selling appropriately? Are you saying that the two are, that they really wouldn't be able to follow like the proper social selling category? Can it apply to them or not? I think I really butchered that question.
I think that honestly, maybe, possibly. I mean, if they are using social to prospect and look for folks that they're going to take and build long-term relationships and sell complex products to, then absolutely, right? Mm-hmm. But if they're out there to take and have, in the network marketing business of taking and finding people to add to sell their products, so that way they can earn a residual income off of it. No, they can go through the same traditional process that they've been going through. They have a system. Calling it social selling is not accurate. That was my argument.
Yeah, the biggest point is just everyone's put the label on social selling, and we want to challenge it's not necessarily social selling. And it doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong. Nothing wrong with social commerce. Nothing wrong with just good old cold calling if it's working for you. Nothing wrong with accosting the guy that's trying to get his gas at the gas station and invite him to an event that he doesn't know what it. Oh, that happened to me the other day. Event that he doesn't know where he's going. But the bottom line of this is the language of it. That watch out. Everyone's using the word, and we're challenging. It's not social selling. Social selling, we're defining is long game, must have enough profit to be able to manage that long game, right? Yep. With multiple players, it's very complex, and you've got to find the right people to engage with and keep track of them in a complex matrix with the strategies and tactics.
Matter of fact, what I would do is recommend that anybody who really wants a good, clear definition of what social selling is, go out and take our LinkedIn training course, because at the first couple modules, it's free to take the course. Guys, it's free. What is it?
How much free?
Free?
Yeah.
So, but in there, Nigel Edelshane talks about the evolution of sales 2.0 to social selling. And he clearly defines what social selling actually is. Now, so we just need to ask companies that are in e-commerce and all that stuff to kind of, stop using the term, refer to it as social commerce, or refer to it what has always been known as, which is a simple sales process. Anyways, definitely don't want to go against or say that it's a bad business model or anything like that, but that's
time to wrap up on a final word, because I know Elyse has a client to go to right now.
Yep. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Sorry.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Yeah.
And as always, definitely connect with us on social. You can find us on all of us on Twitter, LinkedIn. Thank you, everybody who has been reaching out and asking to be guests on the show. We're definitely open to, we're actually going to be lining up the 2017 calendar. We have a couple spots open for this year. But anyways, reach out to us if you're interested. My name is Greg Hyer.
Martin Brossman.
And Elyse Archer.
Have a great day, and let's hear your comments. Maybe if you like this, we might do more rants. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you.